our National Assembly members were begging for it in the streets. We saw them being insulted when they are in public transport, being humiliated in the streets. And these are our lawmakers. We have a president who said this will never happen to the National Assembly members of the Gambia as long as I am president.
Mr. Ba went further to say that people must accept the fact that there is a new government in place under President Barrow. He noted that though democracy is the order of the day, people must express their views responsibly with respect.
As Gambians, we must appreciate the sincerity and the commitment of the president to the Gambian people. Yes, we have a free press. People are free to criticize and insult. But I can tell you that God never makes mistakes. He makes his judgment. He is supreme. We've been here, some of us, for 20 years. It was God who picked him out of all of us and said, this is the man who will take you out of the trouble that this country is going through. Therefore, he deserves the respect and the honor that God has given him, and that we, as Gambians, also have given mandate to be here for the next 5 years.
Reporting for GRTS News, I am Falilu Emel Janko.
The managing director of Euro Africa Group this morning appeared before the Commission of Inquiry probing into former President Yahya Jammeh's assets. Fatou Jassi was there for GRTS, and this is her report.
The first to face the Commission today was Fadi George Mazaji, the managing director of Euro Africa Group. His company deals in the importation of petroleum products and also a shareholder in Gambia Milling Corporation. The Commission summoned Fadi to shed light on his partnership with the former government and clarify why Euro Africa was receiving money from the former president.
$30,969,140 and $1,213,810. Did Euro Africa Group receive these sums?
Yes, did.
Could you tell us about this payment?
Yes. This transaction was in relation to the sale of vehicles, which Global Trading Group Belgium sold to the Ministry of Tourism back at that time for a total of 600,000 euros.
Mazaji was under intense pressure when he could not provide a delivery note for the 32 vehicles he said was ordered by the former regime for the Ministry of Tourism.
Do you have any documents from the Ministry of Tourism for whom you said the vehicle were meant?
No, we don't. The order was verbal. It was basic. I mean, the government said it's for the Ministry of Tourism. We sent the pro forma, they paid the money, and we delivered the cars. I mean, I don't have anything neither from the Ministry of the Tourism or from the Office of the President.
Auditor General Karamba Toure was next to appear and tendered in documents the Commission requested. Businessman Tony Gartes showed a letter from the office of the former president, but that failed to convince the Commission that his transactions were lawful.
Mr. Gartes?
Yes.
That letter is not what you said. It's not in respect of any invoice or the importation of any fuel. It's just permission for you to import fuel, for the company to import fuel.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when I pay the money for them to bring it when they asked me to pay the money, they wanted to bring it maybe to Gambia. And the company in Senegal, they required something like this, otherwise they will not accept.
Gartes further clarified he could not provide all the documents the Commission requested because most of the instructions to make and receive payments were verbal directives from General Suleiman Baji.
This has all happened by instruction from General Baji. Do the job. Sometimes the bank will not allow us to move $1 from the account, and we need money. Use your account after you take it from APA. Because we had big problem with the documents. We didn't have even documents to submit at the bank, and the GT Bank 2 times or 3 times sent us letters that he cannot anymore provide money. Of course, I am signing on all these companies. Of course, I do everything on these companies, but APAM especially, I have to seek approval.
The proceedings is expected to continue on Monday. For GRTS News, I am Fatou Jassi.
And now viewers to a press release from the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council. The Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, in collaboration with the Imam Ratib of Banjul, says Friday, the 1st of September, is Eid al-Adha Day, locally known as Tabaski. A statement from the council explained Tuesday, the 22nd of August, was the 30th of Zulqa'dah and the 11th month of the Muslim calendar. Based on that, Wednesday, the 23rd August, is the first day of Zulhijjah, the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. Therefore, Thursday, the 31st of August, will be the day of Arafat, and Friday, the 1st of September, will be the Eid al-Adha. The council wishes to extend their wishes to His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic, and the entire Muslim Ummah in the Gambia, and a blessed celebration of the feast of Eid al-Adha. The Director General of the State Intelligence Services, SRS, has pledged to make the National Intelligence Services more responsive to the needs of Gambians. Usman Sow made remarks on Thursday whilst briefing the press about the agency's future plans. Haji Sumbundu was there and she now reports.
Building the public confidence in SIS is a top priority that he will work on.
You know, the skies will get clearer very soon. And for the country, we are very hopeful that the trajectory, of security we are seeing is quite encouraging. And there are efforts to strengthen and consolidate the security gains of this country. What you are now seeing, the security sector reforms that are ongoing, the meetings that are ongoing, the consultations that are going, is to develop a sustainable security policy, to put it that way.
The former NIA was notorious for abusing and victimizing Gambians. This the SIS would avoid doing by training their staff to respond fully to the need of the people.
We cannot stop people from speculating and saying and fomenting. We don't know all the intentions out there. But we know we have a system where we put this thing and see what it tells us. So no worry. The country is safe, the country is secure, as far as our assessment is concerned.
The restructuring of the country intelligence agency involves a lot of work and challenges, but the Director General show is confident that with the political reality in the Gambia and the government's strong will to reform the system, the SIS regain the public trust.
It looks very, very good. I mean, the prospects look good. The Gambia is going to have, a very interesting development pattern in the coming years. You'll see a lot of things in this country. And of course, that is also going to be a security challenge, but we are positioning so that we are able to meet the challenges of development and democracy.
With the clarification made by the Director General in the press conference, Gambian can be rest assured that the days of the notorious NIA are over, and that the SIS is here to serve them and not to abuse them. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm Haji Sumbodo.
The Minister of Information has said that the Barrow administration will embark on a rectification program of 22 years of virtual dictatorship of the Jammeh government. Demba Ejao told journalists at a press conference at his office that the new government inherited a broken economy and traumatized the population. Mariama Balde reports.
The news conference today is part of what the minister promised to be regular press briefings in order to keep the public informed about government's policies and programs. Minister Jawa disclosed that government would put in place a comprehensive communication strategy to promote accountability and transparency. He also told journalists that GRTS would soon be accessible nationwide.
Plans are afoot as to how best to get the GRTS to cover the whole territory of the Gambia, and probably very soon that will also happen. As regards to having booster stations in other parts of the country, as you have mentioned, we've already got one in Basse, which is both a booster station for Radio Gambia as well as it can broadcast programs on its own.
Responding to questions on the amendment of only a few sections of the Constitution, Jawa said bad laws will be amended according so as to be in line with best practices. Minister Jawa was also quizzed on why the president has not still appointed a vice president.
He alone has the prerogative to appoint anybody vice president. And I also assure you that the process is on, and probably very soon we will get an announcement. I cannot tell you exactly as to how soon it is going to be, but the president is thinking of it very seriously, and very soon probably we'll get an announcement as to who the VP is.
Minister Jawo said government is conscious of the urgent need to restore the issuance of ID cards and is working hard to that effect. He further revealed government's plans to create employment for young people and discourage illegal migration.
Government is trying to design some policies as regards some youth policies as well. As you know, we've already got some existing policies like the President's Award Scheme, things of that nature. They're trying to either revive some of those policies or, decide new ones. But definitely, the process is on, and probably very soon we can get something, the youth empowerment program in place as well. And further programs are being designed so that the youths can, encourage, because the government is very much concerned about this, particularly this backway syndrome.
Reporting for the news, I am Mariama Baldeshingul.
Following a 3-week tour outside the Gambia, the Secretary General of the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, PDOIS, Halifa Sallah, is back home. Sallah told journalists in a press conference he discussed with the diaspora the way forward for the new Gambia. Samuel Bah tells us more.
Halifa Sallah, Secretary General of the PDOIS party, is back home after 3 weeks of engagement with Gambians in the diaspora on democracy, justice, reconciliation and development.
When it comes to democracy, it is about belonging to a nation. You rise above the other characteristics and move to belong to a people.
Sallah told journalists that he emphasized to the diaspora that democracy is about the assertions of people, and no government anywhere is fit to govern unless it puts the welfare of her citizenry first.
Sovereignty resides in the people of the Gambia. An authority to govern must be derived from their consent. And that authority must not be utilized for any other purpose but to promote their general welfare and prosperity.
He said that since the new government has come to put an end to the self-perpetuated rule of 22 years, it should move to be fundamentally different from the old system.
There is no minority in this country anymore, not on the basis of ethno-linguistic origin, not on the basis of gender, not on the basis of religion, not on the basis of any status.
Sallah believes that with the right types of policies, development is conceivable.
There must be policy to bring about development. And I've emphasized to them that the policies we have had in the past had not led to the development of our country.
Honorable Sallah also explained that the lack of ambassadorial representation might be preventing most of them from connecting back home. The National Assembly member for Serekunda said the visit has given him the opportunity to visit key places and connect with partners for possible support to national development.
They must understand our own history, that we have not had governments that had utilized our wealth to build sovereign national wealth.
On transitional justice issues, Honorable Sallah said he reported to the Gambian communities that the government has taken it up to set up a Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission.
I've emphasized to them that the government has taken up the idea of setting up a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We have not seen the bill, but the bill must have 4 fundamental characteristics. First, transitional justice must be curative. It must be substantive. It must be rehabilitative. It must be restorative.
Sallah said he had also emphasized to the diasporans that the coalition came into being as a matter of necessity, and they all agreed on a 3-year term.
We all came there and we told you that at the National Convention, that we have agreed to 3 years. I don't know why you should ask leaders this question when the facts are
extraordinary. I think you should go to the archives and gather the facts. Not only that, a manifesto has been circulated.
Samuel Bach, GRTS.
The Vice President of the China African Development Fund says they have successfully invested $20 billion in socio-economic development projects on the continent. Rahibite reports from China.
The China Africa Development Fund, whose function is to finance major Chinese investments in Africa, has so far positively impacted the lives of 1 million people on the continent since its inauguration in 2007. The institution, which is China's first and largest equity investment fund with focus on Africa, is reported to have sponsored 90 projects worth $20 billion within the period of 10 years in 36 African countries.
And since our commencement in June 2007, this fund has been making efforts to promote more FDI flowing from China to Africa, and played a significant role as a bridge which linked the projects, the investment opportunities with Chinese companies who has intention to make equity investments in the country.
China now being the biggest economic partner of Africa, and the China Africa Development Fund is said to have contributed to the lives of Africans where the investments are located, while preserving a balance between economic and social development. China Africa Development Fund is an equity fund which is different from loans. It partners to fund projects. It does not increase them, but rather bring capital and Chinese companies to local products, said Vice President Wang Yong.
We fulfill our mandate by the approach based on margins. That is, we fulfill our mandate while we make ourselves sustainable.
Despite the key role the fund plays in Africa, the Gambia is yet to benefit from any project supported by the fund, as informed by Jiang Ling, Executive Director of the China Africa Development Fund. They are now calling on Gambians to tap opportunities offered by the fund, which can be helpful in the development process of the country, promote economic growth, as well as create employment for the country's youthful population. Rohi Bitei, reporting for GRTS News from Beijing, China.
The Central River region has started a process to draw up a strategic development plan to serve as a working document for the region. The initiative, as MS Yalo reports, is spearheaded by the governor as part of his efforts to set up a better governance structure.
Governor Suleiman Barry of Central River Region is leading a change in the way regional authorities operate by convening this forum to map out a comprehensive and an achievable strategic development plan for his region. The stakeholders meeting was as a result of a recent tour of key institutions in the region, including the area councils, by the governor, which compelled him to bring together the key players on a draft strategic plan.
What are the priorities of CRR? What is your vision for CRR? What kind of picture do you want to craft today for tomorrow for CRR? See what I'm saying? And that is very important. If we don't know where we are going, we can never get there. And that is why I decided that we need to come together as stakeholders to craft a strategy for the region.
The draft strategic plan review was presided over by the governor and attended by officials of Janjambure and Kuntao area councils, the National Assembly members of the region, with the exception of 2 who were absent. The interface has been described by the long-serving members of the council as the first of such they have been privileged to attain in their entire service to the area council.
The governor, after his tour, he has decided to call the National Assembly members, all the stakeholders within the region, so that we come and put up this area council strategic plans, post CRR note and CRR strategic plan, and put them into a regional plan, which is going to be called the Central River Region Strategic Plan.
The former Gambia Revenue Authority official wants to do away with how the regions were governed in the past by instituting the right administrative frameworks needed for sustainable development. And the starting point is to have a proper working document.
We won't be able to do our job properly if we do not organize our job. We must organize our work. We must prioritize our work, and we must translate these priorities into practical activities that are realistic.
The day-long forum witnessed an intense deliberation, with the participants coming up with a series of recommendations on key areas such as capacity building, resource mobilization, infrastructural development, the environment, agriculture, and waste management. The interactive forum availed the region's National Assembly members, most of whom are political newcomers, to have a deeper understanding of how the regional government and the area councils function.
It was very educative, in the sense that there is so much I did not know that came to light about the functions of area councils, especially being the focal point of the whole workshop.
I'm really very impressed, especially the fact that the governor, the regional governor, came up with this idea of actually putting together all the National Assembly members so that we can meet in Janjambure and then strategize and develop a plan to move this region forward.
Councillor Pamane of Nyambai Ward in Brikama, who was present as an observer, challenged other regional governors to emulate the initiative of their CRR counterpart. The first review session wrapped up with the participants expected to converge again in September to continue the process until a strategic plan that will serve as a working document for Central River region is developed. But in the meantime, the initiative by Governor Barry is a true representation of what the new Gambia needs. Mohamed Jallo, GRTS News.
But that brings us to a break. More on the other side. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and now to local sports. 18-year-old Abdoulaye Diallo has become the second Gambian to play in the French league after Abdourahmane Damfa. Diallo made his debut for Metz after signing a 5-year deal with the French League One club. A teenage sensation, as Emerson tells us, is the latest big success story for Real de Banjul in the transfer market. Well, looks like that report will come later on in the news. However, for now, we'll go on to news from beyond our borders. The death toll in Guinea has been raised to 10 following a dump site collapse on the outskirts of the capital, Conakry. The disaster was caused by heavy rains, and dozens of those injured are being treated in a hospital. A young girl was, however, pulled alive from the rubble.
In the Dar es Salaam neighborhood on Monday following heavy rains. Dozens of those injured are receiving treatment in hospital. A young girl was pulled alive from the debris. A recovery operation is ongoing as many people are still buried underneath the trash.
We don't like the rubbish being here, but how can we move out? The state needs to take charge and build a proper fertilizing factory so that the trucks don't come and dump it here. Unless they do that, there will be more damage. We want the state to understand us and build us a factory because it's in their power to do so.
And now to the fight against Al-Shabaab. Burundi has deployed close to 2,000 troops as part of its mission to the AMISOM African Union peacekeeping force. CGTN's Abdulaziz Bilo explains their role in fighting Al-Shabaab.
Peacekeeping mission here in Somalia known as AMISOM, with over 5,000 boots on the ground. It was the second to deploy its forces to Somalia after Uganda, and it's currently in charge of parts of the capital Mogadishu and Middle Shabelle region. Earlier this week, Bujumbura began deploying a total of 1,819 troops to replace a similar number that has completed its mission. African Union hopes to end its decade-long mission in the country by end of 2018. The force is largely credited with pacifying the country, including towns and villages that once served as key Al-Shabaab lifeline. By end of 2018, Mogadishu is expected to take over control of its national security. Turkey has also deployed more than 200 officers to help train thousands of Somali forces. Its new base on the outskirts of the capital will be Ankara's remains a weak force as Mogadishu readies thousands of salty 2,000 African Union mission in Somalia. Militant group Al-Shabaab has however vowed to wage further attacks across the country. It recently lost some of its top commanders in coordinated ground and aerial attacks to US and Somali forces. But nevertheless, the group remains a potent threat, and most recently, it was ranked Africa's most deadliest militant group. Abdulaziz Bilo, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Still in the fight against the insurgency, Somalia is prepared to take back control of its national security from the AU mission. Turkey is ready to help the country achieve that goal. It has opened a military base in Mogadishu to train thousands of troops. Abdulaziz Bilo again from CGTN.
From huge chunks of land in south-central Somalia. Turkey has finished constructing its first military base on the outskirts of the capital. The base is said to build the core of the Somali army that was virtually reduced to clan militia after a devastating civil war that lasted more than 2 decades.
And then now we are planning to open officially this facility in September, and to provide also to start the military training programs in September. And for the first time in Somalia, after 1991, we were able also to provide military training for officers and non-commissioner officers in Somalia.
Ankara says the base is a sign of Turkey's confidence in Somalia. In 2011, Turkey's president visited Mogadishu to highlight Somalia's deteriorating humanitarian situation, and has since then initiated several development projects over the years, including an international airport and opening up of Ankara's biggest diplomatic post in the world here in Mogadishu. However, there's been no time frame given for the base operations here in the country, but experts say that in the coming years, Mogadishu will be able to have a competent force to better tackle the militant group.
This will be Turkey's first and biggest military base outside Somalia. It will train up to 1,500 troops at a given time. This is a great opportunity for Somalia, because 27 years later, Mogadishu will be able to train its own forces in its own soil.
Authorities argue that Somali troops have remained poorly trained and ill-equipped for years, and a decades-long arms embargo against the country has been blamed for Mogadishu's inefficiency to battle the militant group head-on. Al-Shabaab continues to claim lives in the East African nation, wherein several Somali and African Union bases. In 2016, the group was ranked the deadliest in the continent after it killed more than 4,000 people. Authorities here, however, claim the upper hand in the fight against the group. Somalia's president in February ordered his commanders to eliminate Al-Shabaab within 2 days. The new base is expected to improve the image of the country's army in terms of training and capability. Experts now want massive investment in the country's sector from donors to ensure that Mogadishu is in charge of its own security after AMISOM's exit. Abdulaziz Bilo, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.
And now, viewers, that brings us to the end of this newscast. Before we take leave of you, a reminder of our headlines once more. The Minister of Information has said Barrow administration will rectify the former government's dictatorship tendencies. The Secretary General of PDOIS, Halifa, has returned home following a tour abroad. The death toll in Guinea has risen to 10 following a dam site collapse near Conakry, and has deployed close to 2,000 troops as part of its African Union peacekeeping force in Somalia. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for your company. I am Selin GT, and do stay with us.